Hello and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade Chapters, Chapter 6, Enter the Werewolf. Um, Found out that we cannot go back to Chapter 3, as I originally thought we could. At Chapter 2, you either go to 2, you go to 4, you go to 3, or if you get both, then you've got the option of which one. If you get both the items to unlock them. But we went to 4, so we are not going to see what Chapter 3 has in store. Before we jump into it, I've got the tile set up. Apologies about the lighting. I am still trying to find a better spot for things and a bigger table for things. Before we start, I do have the silver dagger and the silver shotgun shells, as well as the unlock picking set that currently does us no good. I did spend an additional 6 XP, so we have 3 left over to purchase a second level of weapons, which unfortunately does not add any extra combat cards, but it gives us an extra success for fighting. We ended the last chapter at Hunger 2, which means we are going to get to take part in our first feeding event today before we start, because I want to be full up on blood. But just before we do that, we are also going to go shopping for the first time. Between chapters, you always have the option of going to visit the Thin Blood Alex Simard, who we met in the Toreador prologue, and purchase things in exchange for boons. Currently, we have a major boon, which is worth 5 regular and 4 regular. So we've got 9 boons right now. As the game progresses, more items open up. But at this time, we have access to a Molotov cocktail for 1 boon, a dog whistle for 1 boon, brass knuckles for 2, a handgun for 1, Bowie knife for 2, baseball bat for 2, hockey stick for 1, taser gun for 2, flashlight for 2, blood vial for 1, a protean alchemy potion for 2, a shotgun for 3, and a butterfly knife for 3. If it wasn't obvious from the fact that we have these silver shotgun shells here, we are going to spend 3 of our boons to get the shotgun, which will give us 1 extra die to work with. When we make attacks, and because of the silver rounds, we're going to do 2 extra damage. So we'll do 4 base damage to the werewolf before its resistance. So next, we're going to real quickly glance at, I'm going to show you the feeding events map. So based on our status, which is currently at 0, as you play through the game and get more status, you gain access to more areas. So at status 0, we have access to Montreal North and Hochelaga. And then each one has its own feeding events, which are in the little booklet I already showed. Each feeding event can only be done once. So once you've used it, you can't go back. Some of them will also give items or boons or effect cards as well. So at level 0, we can go after a junkie, a social worker, a homeless, a prostitute, a doctor, young punks, a dealer, a family, a watchman, a garbage collector. Those are in Hochelaga. In Montreal North, we can go after a lone woman, a coroner, squatters, a lonely man, massage parlor clients, high school janitor, an animal, a gravedigger, a couple, or a street gang. We are going to go after, I don't know if succeeding at this will fully set you back at 0 or if more matters. So for safety's sake, I'm going to say we're going to go after the young punks, since it's multiple people, which is page 15 in the feeding book. Young punks in a parking lot. You stroll through the streets, eyeing left and right, searching for prey. There aren't too many people out this hour, and the few you've seen, none have really piqued your interest. That's when you spot them, a group of young punks laughing amongst themselves, drinking and smoking. Looks like you found your meal for the evening. You pause, trying to think of the best possible hunting strategy. So we can be social and try to befriend them, or mental, break a car window to set off an alarm and startle them. This is a straight attribute check, which this is when you feed, it's a coterie-wide event. So if I was playing with other players, everybody would roll the attribute, and then you total up all your successes to determine if you succeed at the event or not. We only have 2 dice for social. We've got 3 for mental. So we're going to go with the mental challenge. Break a car window to set off an alarm and startle them. You approach a car, making sure the punks don't see you. You check to ensure it's equipped with an alarm, and you break the window with your elbow in one swift motion. Why is my phone blowing up? I don't care right now. The alarm goes off, and you hear the exclamations of the young punks from where you are. They're afraid this might attract the cops. You observe as they start running, and then, just as planned, one of them veers off from the pack and comes your way. So, for mental, if it's 1 player, we have to make 1 success. If it's 2 players, it's 2, 3 players, 4, 4 players, it's 5. And this is actually down to the players and not like, us having allies, because if it was going down for us having allies and we had to get 5 successes, there's literally no way we could make 5 successes. Well, I guess we could. We could get all of the critical successes that are worth 2 or 2 and 1, but it's very unlikely we could succeed. So we need to get 3 dice. We only use black dice for this, not the hunger dice. And we got 1 success. You can also spend willpower on this, but any willpower you spend will not be available in the chapter to come. So we're not going to spend willpower. We only needed 1 success. Success. Before the young punk can react, you've jumped on him and thrown him into a chokehold. You hold him firmly as he tries to stab you with a vicious-looking knife. Seeing an opportunity, you bury your fangs deep into the ink-stained flesh, and he freezes as if stunned. You feed blissfully, eyes closed, almost oblivious to the world around you. Placing the young punk's body on the ground, his knife in your pocket, you vanish into the night. Start your next chapter with your hunger at 0. All right. And take the Switchblade item card. Switchblade. There we go. So we've got another weapon that we really can't use because it's just us. So we can no longer use the young punk's feeding event. And now we are on to the story proper. Chapter 6, Enter the Werewolf. You find yourself in the sewers, wading ankle deep in the muck and waste of the kind above. The stench of Montreal's dirty underside assaults your nostrils, welcoming you to this realm of rotten things best left forgotten. Minutes of stalking the tunnels turned hours, and yet you never get used to the smell. You pass by deep gouges in the concrete, marks of an animal's territory. Mr. Damp trails behind you, a grim expression on his face. He's already drawn out his meat cleaver, holding it tightly in his gloved hand. Trek through the tunnels where you can easily meet your final death gives you a strange sense of dread and finality. The deeper in you go, the more you begin to question the newcomer's chances of survival. Glancing down, you notice a handful of rats running the opposite direction. They sense the danger, a sinking ship. This is what the mission is starting to look like in your eyes. What did Mr. Damp do to Caleb to warrant sending him to his doom? Sheriff assured you this newcomer would be able to handle a werewolf, and yet you feel like a prison guard escorting an inmate on death row. Damp's calm, collected demeanor is unnerving. While the coterie is on edge, treating every shadow as a potential death trap, Mr. Damp is traipsing through the sewer tunnel like a walk in the park. More tunnels. You can feel the beast inside you struggling to break free. Even this primal predator wants out. It would be so easy to ditch the Seattleite in these unfamiliar tunnels and run away. You wonder how much werewolf claws hurt and what it feels like to be torn apart. Shaking these grim thoughts out of your head, you notice Mr. Damp smiling at you. He knows. Your fear is ecstasy to him. After a dozen more turns, you happen upon a large broken grate. You are immediately overwhelmed by the rancid smell of rotten meat, dried blood, and feces. Gate opens into a large room bathed in darkness. It's clear this is the area where the werewolf lives. The immense pile of corpses and slashed walls quickly dissipate any doubts to the contrary. The beast is nowhere to be seen, to your relief. Objective: defeat the werewolf. Action: read event 1. In the belly of the beast, you cautiously step into the room, taking great care not to cut yourself on the broken iron bars. Backup lights from the tunnel illuminate the room, casting long shadows of your coterie on the floors covered in dry blood. Mr. Dam takes a deep breath behind you as he enters the room. Marvelous, he says, fixated on the scene of utter carnage that lies in the opposite end of the room. It's made of people. His head snaps in your direction. We need a shed. Without another word, Mr. Dam makes his way to the back of the room, admiring this repulsive mound of discarded body parts. A hiss from a steam pipe nearby brings you out of your confusion. Here you stand in the lair of a werewolf, the last place kindred would want to be. Sunlight seems like a blessing at this point. In the distance, you hear the sound of claws scraping on stone and the soft splashes of a heavy creature trying to remain unheard. Set Mr. Damp and his state card on the designated hex. So Mr. Damp is already there. Let's grab his state card. I've already got a health token on it because we know this is going to be a fight. It knows we're here, Mr. Damp says, eyes riveted on the bodies. Your time is short. I would suggest evening out the odds. Read event 2. Choice to make. Looking around the room, you spy a few objects that might provide you with a leg up against the werewolf. To your left, near the entrance, is a large brass pipe that runs from the floor to the ceiling. Looks weak in some places, corroded by years of neglect. Farther into the room are two gates, wide enough to let one of you through. A fetid odor of rancid meat emanates from the area. Against the far wall of the room, amidst the discarded bones and half-eaten guts of dozens of people, lies a construction of some sort. This fleshy burrow appears to be a hiding spot for the creature. Read the choices below and then start the sand timer. You have until the timer runs out to decide which area you want to investigate. Okay, so just get another camera here on the sand timer. Place all player characters on a hex adjacent to the investigation area of your choice. Sand timer runs out, take the indecisive effect card, and resume playing. So, okay, sand timer is going. So we can go 1, 2, or 3. 1's the pipe, 2's the gates, 3's the fleshy thing. Let's go for number 3. We're gonna go for 3. Okay. I just set up. I had set up another camera to video the sand timer as it was going. So event 3 or investigation 3, page 13. It's a tent made out of people. You approach this shabby construction and notice, now that you have a clear view, that these human and ghoul remains have been piled up to act as a grotesque shelter. Its werewolf certainly retained pieces of its humanity despite being now nothing more than a ravenous beast. Lifting the flap made of matted hair and dangling femurs, you notice a strange bone structure erected inside. First glance, it looks like a crescent moon strung up from the ceiling of this cramped shelter by dried up guts. Whatever it is, the creature definitely holds some sort of emotional attachment to it. Make a mental plus occult check. 0 to 2 successes, read IN 1. 3 plus successes, read IN 2. We have 3 dice to roll, but we only get 1 automatic success, so we'd have to do pretty good. What we are going to do is we are going to make a rouse check to activate Death Sight, because now that we have 2 dots in Necromancy, it'll give us 2 automatic successes in Occult. So let's see if we get hungrier. We do not get hungrier, which is helpful because I'm going to be calling on those wraiths here soon. So we get 3 successes and we get 3 dice to roll. And okay, so we would have made it. We got 5 successes. Read IN 2. You cannot place where you've heard this. Perhaps it was at the Elysium, or maybe something your sire told you years ago, but werewolves have their own weird rituals. From what you remember, werewolves worship so-called spirits who bestow them with supernatural powers. You do not recall ever hearing about these spirits requiring a physical manifestation to grant powers. This construction must have some other purpose, one that's specific to this very werewolf. As you contemplate your discovery, you hear the barks of the werewolf echoing ever closer. Your time is limited. Choose a player. The following only applies to them. Read IN 3. The shelter is only big enough to let one of you inside. Well, I'm the only player, so... You crawl into the werewolf shelter. As you approach the sculpture, something else grabs your attention. Behind the moon-shaped construction, you spy a gnawed-upon baseball bat covered in drool. Disgusting, but serviceable. With the Guru fast approaching, you have time to reach one, but not both. Choose carefully. If you decide to let the sculpture be and grab the bat, read I in 4. If you decide to approach the sculpture, read I in 5. We already have more weapons than we can use, because we've got a silver dagger, a switchblade, and a shotgun now. And werewolves have fetishes and spirit charms and stuff that aid them. So it's possible that messing with the sculpture will weaken it, which I'm kind of hoping for, because I don't fancy fighting a werewolf. So let's approach the sculpture. I in 5. Upon closer inspection, you realize its construction is flimsy at best. Throwing it on the ground would certainly break it. We can grab it in both hands and throw it on the ground, or leave it be. We are going to grab it in both hands and throw it on the ground. I in 6. A glint of malice flickers in your eyes. You grab the moon-shaped sculpture and yank it from its tether. It shatters as it falls to the ground. Almost like clockwork, you hear a guttural scream coming from the nearby tunnels. The wolf had a connection to it after all. Take the targeted effect card and remove all investigation tokens from the area. Satisfied with the direct destruction, you come out of the shelter smirking. Okay, so we remove these. And we need the targeted event card. Someone's about to make your existence their problem. Every NPC on the tile will target you in combat. Alright, targeted. Someone's about to make your existence their problem. Every NPC on the tile will target you in combat. Discard at the end of the chapter. Okay, so we are going to be the werewolf's target, apparently. Read event 3. Enter the werewolf. The oppressive smell of wet dog washes over you. If you were still living, you would have soiled yourself by now. Its form lumbers through the broken gate, scraping against the broken bars. They draw no blood. The milky white eyes of the beast scan the room as it sniffs the air. Its lips curl in a sneer with ounces of saliva drooping from its chin. Werewolf swallows a piece of flesh of recently bit off the dead human it carries like a rag doll. Set the werewolf with the werewolf state card on the designated hex. So, the werewolf goes there. And the werewolf state card is going to go there for just a second. Read E4. Fighting the Beast. Mix the shared boss and boss 1 combat decks together. Okay. Combat begins. If you're using the werewolf's miniature, not standee, you can target all 3 hexes it occupies. Hex adjacent to any of these 3 hexes are considered adjacent to the werewolf. The werewolf's NPC damage tracker has 0 points left. Read E6. If you win, read E7. If you need help defeating the werewolf, read E5. If you lose, you failed. Start over from the beginning. All right. So let me get the deck shuffled and get our coterie set up around us. So, I guess technically we would have been inside here because we went onto the token there. So that'd be us. Let's get Aaron, Thomas, and Samuel. Damp stays on his spot, and then the werewolf goes there. So let's get everything moved. We've got Call the Herd if we need to get a little extra blood. I'm going to pull my cards. I'm going to grab, because we're playing to shoot, spray, straight shot. Because the werewolf's after us, let's grab dodge and guard to get initiative and extra movement. And we have no other shooting related ones, so let's grab slash since we have the silver dagger, since it can act as attack or defense. So we got that. Everybody's placement. We are at 2. Thomas is at 2. Aaron is at 4. Samuel is at 1. Damp is at 1. The ghouls will, or the wraiths will be at 1, but they haven't been summoned yet. And the werewolf has 5 on its initiative. Don't want to hear that. So we'll just mark that there for him. Get these off the table, or off the tile. I've also got, I'm going to mark this page, so I've got it handy. I'm going to set up here, just right here is the line of sight for a large hex boss, a triple hex boss. So let's get the boss deck shuffled. We've got boss shared and boss 1. Okay, so that's the boss deck. I've got my cards there. Let's get our ally cards shuffled. Okay, there's ally cards. I'm going to sit that there. I have no intention of using the switchblades, so we're just going to have that like that. Okay, so it's going to go werewolf gets card, and then Aaron. I am going to my line of sight is 3 out. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the werewolf has 4 movement. If it has an attack that can't reach me, it'll discard it from 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be out of my range any which way. Unless I move closer, but that seems counterintuitive since it's going to be targeting me. So we will do this. We'll use slash for our card. So then it'd be Thomas, Samuel, then Damp. All right, werewolf is doing special 1. Rage. The werewolf closes its powerful jaw on its prey. It's a defense card. The target takes 2 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't reach anybody, especially me, who it wants. So 5, 6. And that's the werewolf's turn. Aaron is going to bite. She has 4 movement, plus 1 damage, which will give her 4. It's got 3 resistance. 2, 3, 4. So she would not be able to get behind it. Let me see, I don't think she would. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no which way she could get behind it. So let's just 1, 2, 3. So 4 damage. It's going to soak 1. First blood is ours. Okay, so that's Aaron's turn. My turn. I am actually, with me having everybody else in front of it, I probably could, but okay. I'm going to make a rouse check to summon a wraith. We don't get hungrier. The wraith can't do anything on its first round. It just shows up on an adjacent hex. So we've got 1 wraith, which would go on 1, but it's already done because it can't do anything on its first turn. I'm going to roll. I've got 1 brawl, so we've got 1 success, 2 physical for defense. Okay, so we get 2 successes. We have 2 resistance tokens, which aren't going to help us with anything because the werewolf's already gone, but at the end of the turn, it's going to give me an additional initiative when they get discarded. So move me up the tracker a bit. Lastly, I think what I would like is 1, 2, 3. No. It's close enough that I could, yeah, it should be able to get close enough for me to shoot at next turn. So I won't move at all. So that'll be my turn. And actually, I go up to, well, I will go up to 3, but we'll just put me there. Thomas is also going to bite, which he also has, he's only got 3 movement. He's going to do 3 damage, so he won't do any damage. So let's just try and, unless, wait, can I, 1, 2, 3. Nope, it's going to place him in the 0 spot, so, oh well. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to box in the werewolf so it has to backtrack around. Okay, so Thomas attacks, but it doesn't do any damage because the werewolf soaks it. So, makes it Samuel's turn. Samuel's going to punch, which will bring him up on the initiative tracker. He's got 3 movement, so 1, 2, 3. Because even if I could get him to the werewolf, he wouldn't be able to do any damage, so he would only do 1 damage. So that's Samuel. Mr. Damp, do something helpful, please. Special 2. Total Insanity. 1 whisper and the beast loses control of itself. He has 4 movement, which is helpful. He does 3 attack. Target takes 1 bleed and 2 slow tokens and deals 1 less damage next turn. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to completely box it in. Well, for the most part, it can move south, but so he'll get an extra attack from attacking it from behind. So it's going to be 4 attack, and then it gets 1 bleed, which was Which one's a bleed token here? I believe that's bleed. Yeah, it's bleed. So it's got 1 bleed. At the end of each of the werewolf's turns, while it's got that, it's going to take 1 additional damage. Does anything stop that? Bleed. Take 1 unpreventable damage at the end of your active turn until you play a defense card. Okay, so it will be there until it gets a defense card. That is not, however, the bleed card. Hang on 1 second. Okay, got some bleed tokens. Okay, so he also did 1 bleed, 2 slow, and -1 attack. Okay, we've got 2 slow tokens, which means he's only going to move 2, so it's almost guaranteed that he'll sacrifice his item card to try and get at me. So the werewolf will take 1 more damage. And that's Mr. Damp's turn. So because the resistance tokens weren't used, they get discarded, but I go up by 1 initiative because of that. And collect everybody's cards. So, Aaron, Thomas, Samuel, and Mr. Damp. If I can pick up the damn card. Werewolf. And for me, because it's pretty well blocked off, I am going to feel fine going with spray. I can get a little bit closer and shoot it. So, top of the round, Werewolf. Special 1, it's going to rage again, which it can't reach me. In any way, shape, or form, it can't reach me. So, it's going to go 1, 2. Actually, no, wait. Path on least resistance to reach its target. Probably back behind Damp. 1. So it's like that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and at the end of its turn, it's going to take 1 more damage. And it loses the... Oh, Rage is a defense card. Never mind, it doesn't take 1 damage. Rage is in defense ability, so... The bleeding didn't get to do anything for us that time, which sucks. Oh well. Okay, so that's the werewolf. Aaron, what you got? Special 1. Claw. Aaron viciously claws an enemy. Target takes +1 bleed damage. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. She can get behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do 1 damage and we'll put that bleed token right back on there. You don't get to stop bleeding until we say you can stop bleeding. Okay, so that's Aaron's turn. My turn. I don't have my old boots, so I've only got 4 movement this time. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit. Okay, hang on. So yeah, I need 1 more hex to be able to hit it. So I am going to rouse the blood for a blood surge. We'll put it towards physical. Okay, we don't get hungrier. No, wait, I can't rouse the blood. Damn it. Because you can only utilize the blood once. And we can't summon a wraith. Shit, we're already put in for an attack. Okay, we won't summon the wraith this turn. We'll blood surge. We'll get 1 extra die for physical, and we'll get 1 extra movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll definitely have line of sight for him. We don't get hungrier. We got our 1 extra movement. We get 3 dice to throw here. And we get 4 automatic damage, one way or the other. 5 damage, so he's going to take 2 damage. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 8 more damage before we read event 6. So that's my attack. That makes it the end of my turn. So it is Thomas, who's going to guard, getting +1 resistance, which is going to do him no good, but with his 3, 1, 2, 3, we're going to block the werewolf in again. Samuel, Special 2, Inspiring Leader. Samuel's powerful, commanding presence makes him a perfect leader for the coterie. It's a defense card. Player gets +1 die to their next skill check. Well, that'll be helpful. And he moves 3. 1, 2, 3. And then, lastly, my Wraith will move 2. It doesn't state on its card how much it moves. If I'm remembering right in the rules, and I'm going to clarify later, but I believe if it doesn't have a listed movement, it just defaults to 2 movement. So I'm just going to go with that. The Wraith isn't going to be able to do anything, because it only does 2 damage. So it's never going to be able to hurt the werewolf, but it's a meat shield that I can keep summoning as needed whenever it dies until my blood gets too high. But so that's the Wraith, and Mr. Damp is going to punch, giving him +1 initiative. And I'm not going to be able to do any damage with him where he's at. Because he only does 3 damage by default. If I moved him around back, I could do 1 damage. But if I move back, the werewolf's going to be unblocked again and able to start moving. Well, he's going to have a clear shot straight to me for whatever it does. So we're going to sacrifice 1 damage so that we don't have to worry about getting torn apart by the werewolf right now. So makes it top of the round. Werewolf is still at the top. Collect everybody's cards. And I think, yeah, there's only 1 card left. So that's going to go to Aaron. Let me shuffle the rest of the deck. Okay. So Thomas, Samuel, Damp, Werewolf. It's going to cost me an initiative, but I am going to do my straight shot. I forgot to roll one extra die as well last time for my spray. Oh well, I'm not going to forget that this time. So that'll give me 1 extra line of sight, so even if the werewolf moves a little bit, I can hopefully still be able to block it off and hit it. So, werewolf. Tear. Attack. So he doesn't lose its bleed. Target takes +2 damage, +1 bleed, and if they suffer damage, they take a bleed token. So it can't reach me, most likely. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 4. That would be how it would go at 4. Then 5, 6. Yeah. Luckily, it can't reach me yet. Okay, so the werewolf takes 1 damage from bleed, which makes it Aaron's turn. Special 1, claw. So if we can hit it, which we can, 1, 2, 3, 4. It won't do any damage, but we're going to give it another bleed token. So now, if it doesn't use a defense card next time, it's going to take 2 damage. Okay, so that's Aaron's turn. My turn. I am going to 1. Rouse the blood to summon a wraith. I get hungrier. Wraith is going to go right here. 2, I'm going to take my shot, which 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got all sorts of range on him. Unfortunately, I'm not behind him, so it won't be an extra damage, but so we've got 2 automatic successes, 2 extra damage from the shotgun, so we got 4 damage. We've got 2 physical dice, and we get +1 from the straight shot card. Ooh, so that's 7 successes. Okay, so it soaks 3, takes 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has 3 more health. That's going to pull me back down on the initiative track. And then I am going to I don't have any more shot cards or any more gun cards. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's where we're going to end up. Okay, so that's my turn. Thomas is going to bite. +1 damage, which give him 3. With his 3 movement, he can get behind it. 2, 3. To make it 4, so he'll do 1 damage. Makes it Samuel. Special 1, Cane Sword. If he could actually hit the target, then that would be -1 initiative, but he can't. He's got 3 movements, so 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, we're going to put him right there. Which then brings us to Mr. Damp. Guard, +1 resistance. Well, that's not what I need you to do. 1, 2, 3. 4. No, leave him at 3. Okay, so then makes it, I just summoned the 1 Wraith, so it won't do anything. The other one, though, is going to move 1, 2. That's my Wraiths. So, top of the round. I'm going to guard this round. Let's collect everybody's cards. Werewolf gets his. Aaron. Thomas. Samuel. Damp. Okay. Top of the round. Damn it. Werewolf is using Rage, which means it gets rid of its 2 bleed tokens. I was really hoping those would do more of an effect here, especially since I finally got 2 of them on the fucker. Okay, so he's going to try and make it to me for 2 extra damage, which would be 7 damage, which would be an insta-kill if he could get to me. There is no path down below he can take to get there. So he's going to go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can he? Actually, no, he'd probably go. Six. Instead of trying to go through the middle of them. Okay, so that's Werewolf. Aaron, Special 2, Tear. 3 damage and 2 slow tokens. She can get behind it for 1 extra damage, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will take 1 more damage. And it's got 2 slows. That's Aaron's turn. My turn. I am guarding. Which gives me 4 dice to work with. Now we have a hunger die added into the mix. Okay, so I had 1 success. I get 2 resistance. Which again, probably won't do much more than increase my initiative at the end of the turn, but guard also increased my initiative to 3, so I should hopefully be up at 4 here in a minute. Well, I will be up at 4 in here in a minute. Okay, Thomas. Special 2, knee break. He gets +2 movement, and the enemy gets 1 immobilized token. So that's going to give him 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So target is immobilized. So on top of the fact it was slowed, now it can't move at all. So that's Thomas. Samuel. Punch, +1 initiative. And he's going to go. He's there. Let's just get you right up in there. Which puts you there. And damp. Punch, +1 initiative. So you're going to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or no, he's got 5. Why do I keep thinking 4? I keep forgetting that he gets the benefit from Aaron as well. So he's at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Wraith 1. Move to attack, but it can't do enough damage. Wraith 2 goes 1, 2. Will attack, but it's going to get resisted. Okay. Top of the round. I'm up to 4 with Aaron. Samuel and Damp are at 3. The werewolf's at 5 still. Lose the resistance tokens. Okay. So, collect everybody's cards. So Aaron gets that card. Werewolf gets that card. Shuffle up the other cards. Okay, so Samuel, Damp, Thomas. I'm going to spend a willpower to refresh my cards. And I'm going to use spray this turn. So, Werewolf. Special 2, Earth Shock. So it can't move to attack anybody, but this affects everybody. It gives everyone immobilized tokens. Which, with everybody coming after it, all those tokens are going to get pretty well cleared up here in a second. Although, means my card's wasted because I can't shoot it. Oh well. So everybody's immobilized. I'm not going to dig out the tokens because we're just going to get rid of them in a second. But so it's Erin's turn. She's going to bite. Or no, it's my turn. Well, I can't shoot it. I can't move. I can't summon a wraith. Yeah, I've got nothing I can do. So it ended its turn. I did my turn. Erin's going to bite. She is still behind it. So she's going to do 5 damage. So she'll do the last remaining damage. We need to knock the werewolf over for event 6. Anger of the Wild. The beast before you howls in a mix of pain and pure rage. Your strategy seems to have been effective so far, but the werewolf has only gained angrier. Flip the werewolf's NPC state card and set damage back to 0. Boss phase 2 begins. Their stat levels may change from one phase to the other, as well as their special attacks. Boss is considered defeated only when the damage tracker of its phase 2 is full. Resume playing. So, phase 2. Rage changes into Blind Rage, which all adjacent targets take +4 damage. Its resistance goes from 3 to 4. And Earth Shock now does 1 damage to everybody, as well as immobilize everybody. And line of sight goes up by 1 as well. Not that that matters all that much here. So that was Erin's turn. So Samuel is going to punch, which will move him up the initiative tracker, but he can't move. Makes it Damp's turn. Damp is going to punch, which will move him up the initiative tracker, but he can't move. Which makes it Thomas. Thomas is going to bite for +1 damage, which would be 3 damage, but the werewolf now soaks 4, so that's not going to do anything. And the wraiths are going to attack ineffectively. So back to the top of the round. Yeah, werewolf initiative doesn't change. So werewolf's next card. Collect all the other cards. Okay, so Aaron, Samuel, Damp, Thomas. I am going to... I'm going to straight shot because they'll give me one extra line of sight, even though they'll take me down on initiative. Okay, so Werewolf is no longer slowed or immobilized, so let's get rid of those. Charge. +2 movement, target takes +2 damage. So that's going to give it 6 movement by default to try and get to me. So 1, 2, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's going to discard that for 2 more. 7, 8. Yeah, 8. It just hauled ass after my ass. Guess I'm not going to need the extra line of sight, but I'm going to need to get the hell out of Dodge behind that wall of bodies. Okay, so that's the werewolf's turn. My turn. Hi there. Shoot it in the face. Oh, wait, can I... With 4 movement. 2, 3, 4... Yes, that would be counted as behind it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This might be risky as hell. Okay, so I get +1 die. So we got 5 dice for this, or no, we got 3 dice for this one. 4 automatic succession, or 5 automatic damage because we're attacking from behind. So let's get rid of that. Or no, we do still have that because the shotgun as well. Okay, so 5, 6, 7. It's gonna soak for... You know, I'm good with doing 3. I'm not gonna. I need to spend my willpower to refresh my cards. So unless we get really shitty roll, I'm not gonna re-roll it for 1 more. So that was box 4. So 1, 2, 3. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We need 12 more damage to put down the werewolf. So I moved. I attacked. Awesome. Awesome possum. That's my turn. Aaron. I doubt you're going to get close enough to do anything. Special 2, tear. If you can get close enough, you will do 2 slow to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, best she can do is get here. So that's Aaron. Samuel, you might actually be able to hit this fucker for the first time ever. Special 2, command. You are going to give me a +1 die on my next attack. Or my next dice roll. That's nice of you. Maybe I'll try and stab it with the silver dagger if I'm feeling dumb. But we'll see. And you're going to do 1 damage, but that won't do anything. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Makes it damp. Special 1, vanish. Teleports behind the target. Target takes plus 1 damage, so it'll do 5 damage because his base attack is 3. So the werewolf is going to take 1 damage as Mr. Damp teleports right behind it, which isn't so much of a teleport considering he was already basically right behind it. But so it's going to take 1 more damage. So we need 11 more. So that's Damp. Thomas. Guard. Plus 1 resistance. You've only got 3 movement. One, two, three. You can move through an ally's hex. You just can't stop there. So he's going to move there. He does 2 damage, which ain't going to do shit to the werewolf. Wraith 1 is going to move here and look all ghosty. Wraith 2 is going to move here, look all ghosty. Okay, top of the round. Or no, my initiative went down to 3. Aaron couldn't hit, so it didn't get slowed right. Last card for Aaron. Shuffle these. I have a very, very strong feeling I am actually going to get attacked this turn. And this werewolf, if I don't defend, would kill me in 1 shot because it's got base 5 attack, not counting whatever any of its cards are going to add. So, get these 2 out of the way. We're going to go with Guard to get plus 1 initiative and 2 extra dice, 3 extra dice, with Samuel's boost, so that'll actually play out nicely. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Okay, so Werewolf gets its card. Samuel, Damp, Thomas. All right, top of the round, Werewolf. Special 2, Earth Shock. Everybody takes 1 damage and 1 immobilized token. Oh, and it's going to move 4 before I forget that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to do, it'll do 6 damage. Okay, well, I'm gonna roll my dice for my defense right now because this could be a bad one. The Wraiths are just instantly nuked. They're both dead because they've got 3 HP. So they're dead. We'll get them back when we can get them back. Woo! That's what we like to see. 5 resistance. So we will take... Yeah, we'll take 1 damage. we will take 1 damage. See what the damage is on everybody else. Damp has 3 resistance, so he's going to take 3 damage, unless this is a resist card. It is not. So 1, 2, 3. Thomas, does he have a resist card? He does not. So he's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or no. 1, 2, 3. That's his HP. So Thomas is out. Aaron has 2 resistance, so that's 4 damage. 1, 2, 3. She's out. Shit. Samuel has 2 resistance, but he only has 1 HP, so he's out. So our entire coterie just got fucking wiped in 1 attack. We are going to lose this. I fucking guarantee that right now. We are going to lose this fight. So that's the werewolf's turn. Damp is doing his total insanity. So he only does, well, it's not going to matter. He can't do any extra damage, so we're going to put him in the way to block off the werewolf for a minute. He's going to do 4, he's going to do 3 damage. He's going to give 1 bleed. Too slow. And the werewolf is at 4 damage next time instead of 5. Not that it matters. He's going to fucking nuke anything. It's my turn. I'm going to rouse the blood to put another wraith on the table. Don't get hungrier. I was guarding, so I'm not attacking. And 1, 2, 3, because Erin is in torpor, we no longer get her bonus. That went tits up real quick. And I get +1 initiative from the guards. So I'm back on to 4. Top of the round. Damp. Werewolf. I'm going to have to spend a willpower to refresh my hand right now because I guarantee that werewolf is going to be in range one way or the other. And we've got to put some serious hurt on that thing to kill it. So I'm going to do straight shot, even though it's going to take me down in initiative again. It'll give me +1 of line of sight just in case the werewolf can't make it. So werewolf. going to Howl. It's a defense card, so it gets rid of the fucking bleed again. God damn it. It's got 2 slow. And this affects everybody. Everybody takes 1 damage, 2 slow, and -2 initiative. Fuck. Shit. Oh, everybody takes +1 damage. So everybody takes 5 damage. We're fucking dead. Every which way you cut it, we're dead. That'll put me at 7 damage when I have 4 HP. And it's going to put Damp at 1 over his. So that's the game. All right, well. Don't quite know how we're going to get out of this one the next time we try to play it. Okay, let's see what it says. If you lose, you failed the chapter. Start over from the beginning. So, yeah. Thanks so much for watching. This is our first defeat. That fucking sucks. I can't believe it fucking wiped everybody in 1 shot. Which it could have done from anywhere on the map. Yeah, so we will see you in the next one when we restart everything and try this again. We are going to keep that we bought the shotgun and we did the feeding event. One way or the other. So since that happens technically before the chapter. So that will have happened. We'll start off basically back at blank slates again and maybe see what some of the other investigation things are, if maybe they'll give us more of a boost. But all right, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.